Thanks, Matt. All right, we're less than an hour away from a special session up in Carson City. We've been talking about it for a while now, trying to learn what might be in that special session.
Now we know, and Mike Allen is here to show us what's on the docket. Good morning, Mike.
Yeah, good morning, Alyssa, Jason. So last hour, we talked about some of the bills being brought back to life, including the controversial film tax credit bill. And now we're going to talk about something a little less concrete because there's not already a bill on this issue. It's been maybe the biggest ongoing story since the regular session ended at the beginning of the summer, and that's road safety in school zones. More kids have been hit on their way to or from school than there have been school days this school year. Now, we've reported on changes being made at the local level to make it safer to get to school, like sprucing up crosswalk markings, putting up flashing pedestrian lights, adding crossing guards to some particularly dangerous intersections as well. But now it looks like we'll get some sort of statewide guidance on this issue. So here are some thoughts from one of the biggest voices in support of making walking safer, especially when it comes to slowing down drivers.
You know, nothing is ever going to take that human factor out of a crash, but if we can make that crash happen at 15 miles an hour, that's a survivable speed. So we've what we call mitigated the crash. And instead of critical and fatal injuries, if a crash happens, it's a much lesser injury.
And of course, if drivers are going slower, they're better able to see the kids crossing in front of them. Now, I talked this morning with Krista Holloway. She's the founder of a local organization that's pushing for changes in school zones. We featured her on Fox 5 recently. She wants to see higher fines for speeding in school zones and parking in bike lanes, too. That's a big one. She also wants to see more pedestrian lights at crosswalks. Also echoing what we just heard seconds ago, Holloway also wants to see larger school zones with those 15-mile-per-hour limits all over the state.
And Mike, a big part of this school safety is e-bikes and e-scooters, which a lot of kids have been getting hurt on valley-wide. Is that a point of focus as well? Well,
it's been a big point of focus here in the Valley, that's for sure. And it's a big issue that I've heard from parents, students, school police during the school year as I've been covering these kind of stories over the last few months. And there are local laws around that now, but state lawmakers won't be taking up this issue. Kind of a surprise. So that means until at least the next session in 2027, the ordinance passed by Clark County, that's going to be the rules for people riding those e-bikes and e-scooters. That doesn't necessarily mean e-bikes and e-scooters won't be able to be part of this school safety kind of focus for lawmakers. It's just not specifically called out here.
Okay.
Yeah, I wonder if it's more of a metropolitan type thing. I mean, obviously it's a big state with a lot of rural area. Maybe it is more for the cities to decide. I don't know. I don't know how other cities and states are dealing with it, but
yeah, you might imagine maybe high schools in Winnemucca aren't facing this kind of issue, so there's not quite as much need for that. But certainly here in the Valley, we do have some pretty strict rules, and that includes the biggest thing is defining what those vehicles actually are, e-bikes and e-scooters too. So it seems like the state might have to do a little more legwork on that before doing more statewide guidelines.
Right. All right. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks.